there's a musical Don Quixote. I thought that was Pirates of
No,
Penzance.
there's
Is
a
that different?
ballet. There's a ballet for Don Quixote.
Oh, ballet. Okay.
There's a
That
VeggieTales
makes more
Don
sense.
Quixote.
There's a lot
I
of
thought
good
it was
VeggieTales stuff.
Don Cutie, so.
Aww.
And on that wonderful note that the recording got, hello and welcome back to Kirigor Studios Remnant Lunar Archon Session 52. Hope you're having a great day. So far, I think most of us are. We're having a good time, at least. And we're going to hopefully enjoy the session.
Yeah, I got a shiny Latias during raid hours, so there you go.
Nice. I'll be honest, I don't know which one is Latias and which one is Latios.
Latias is girl, like Spanish, and Latios is boy, like Spanish.
Sure, but which one is which color?
Oh, girl is red. Girl is red. Boy is blue.
Latias, like girl, is red, and Latios, like boy, is blue. Cool. And then once they mega evolve, they're identical.
They're both purple. But their shinies are neat because the blue goes green and the red goes orange.
Ooh.
So it's fun.
We're getting some.
And they keep the same opposite color scheme. So like Latios has blue with red triangle, and Latias is red with blue triangle, and then they switch, and so it's green with orange triangle and orange with green triangle. So
interesting. I like that. Does
it's one of my favorite things.
The recap?
There's supposed to be a brother-sister combination.
I like it.
It's kind of cool.
I like Pokemon that are counters to each other. Like, despite the fact that they never get used and aren't cared for by the community, Zangoose and Seviper, I love them.
Oh, I love them. Yeah, they're great.
So fun. And they hate each other, and it's great.
It makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. It's a mongoose and a snake coming after one another. It makes sense. Who gave the recap last time?
I
think you did.
I mean, I helped, but I know I gave it to someone. Was it? I think it was Jaislyn.
I think it was Jason.
Well, I'm gonna roll d6. All right, it's gonna be Chris, if he's all right with giving it. Also, I want to let y'all know I was just curious, and so I haven't rolled it a statistically significant number of times, but I flipped the coin, the evil and nice DM coin, and out of 15 tries, 11 were good DM. So I'm starting to wonder if there's a statistic to be had here. I may need to flip it a number of times to see what the actual variance and average is. Because I did take statistics and I know how to do that. And I'm starting to wonder, does the coin like y'all? Does the coin like y'all a little too much? See, I flipped it right now. Good.
I mean, what is the coin made out of?
I don't know. Metal.
Oh, well.
I don't know. It's a coin. It's got some good heft to it, but.
Okay, yeah, I can do recaps. As far as the coin goes, though, clearly you're meant to be a good guy, because even those times that you rolled the bad guy DM, I don't really feel like you were that bad. So
that's fair.
Unless you roll a bad guy DM and you become extra bloodthirsty, I think that either way, the coin is doing exactly what you would want it to do anyway. So
valid. I do like to make sure y'all have fun and are heroes.
I'm more concerned as to why you had to flip it today.
I flipped it 6 times. Thing is, I was just curious, and so I started flipping it. And then when I was like 6 times in and it had only rolled the good side, I was like, I need to see how long this takes. And I just kept flipping it. So I flip it normally, but yeah.
We made it to yet another delightful town on our map. And we have been inquiring into the library. And eventually we were allowed, permitted, invited. I don't know. It's kind of hazy. It kind of feels like all those things. But to talk to the headmistress in charge, and she already knew quite a bit about us and was willing to work some memory iron goodness for us. So after much deliberation, we agreed the best course of action was the purpose that we came for in the first place. which was the Shattered Memory Sword that Doug had been carrying for ages upon ages. It has been months in his possession, and we dove into it like a cool Mario 64 painting, and there was a whole new world. And Ariel was there, and no, she wasn't there. That's a joke. But
That's
we
Jasmine.
tried to figure out what was going on. The puzzle.
Oh, you thought it was Ariel, and it turned out to be a Hydra.
Right. Yeah, it was upside down Ursula. We had trouble with the initial puzzle. We were kind of overthinking it. We did not expect Micah to give us the simple kindergarten version of a puzzle, so I think we were looking for something more like in depth, and we just overthunk it all the time. And then we got there, and then we got split up, and that was cool. We had a fun ship battle, and after the ship battle, we met back up with the other half. That was not with me and Gambit, and I believe Doug was with me, and I think John Halston and everybody's favorite cat Thicket were on the wise girl side, and we were on the seaweed brain side. And then it got confusing, and I had particular difficulties with it, and Micah was willing to kind of wavy dream sequence away the rest into a montage. And after the credits rolled, we came out the victor, and some memory was less shattered than previous. And so now we are preparing to depart in a way and see where that takes us.
All right. It is worth noting that y'all had agreed to, in return for the memory iron ritual, as well as for the various information she's agreed to provide you, she would like for y'all to retrieve through methods that she does not care about the particulars, but retrieve the book "The Mysteries of Starlight" from the wizard Simeon of Vacuo, who lives within the city of Vacuo. And yes, as the dream had ended, this version of memory that you'd gone through, you all opened your eyes, finding yourselves having been floating in the air, this sand moving around you, and as the sand seemed to part and flow seemingly into nowhere, dispersing, you all were lowered back onto the places in the magic circle you had been before. The sword, the Shadow Memory, being laid down atop the 10 2-pound ingots of iron that you'd be able to spot very easily. That of the 10, there are 7.5 of them. So actually reaching for 7 full ingots and then a partial change. Almost like water seeping into a sponge, like where you're able to see it darken and change. One of the ingots of iron is partially changed into this white form, this lighter, same material as the Shattered Memory, which is still broken, but you now have the materials to fix it if you're able to find someone who can. As for who can, who knows, maybe Maverick, maybe someone else, who knows what you want to try. As it lowered down, you're able to see that the sun is setting outside. You having gone in around noon, a little bit before. So an amount of time has passed, which I guess to be particular for me in the future, if I ever need to come back to the session and look things up, it is 7 p.m. in the year 417, post-schism, Sunday the 21st of May. As you were all lowered back to the ground, you saw that Sasha looks tired, a little bit haggard from the time. She looks over, reaches her hand out, and you see a mage hand create near the door to the room, and she pulls on this small wire. You don't hear a response or anything from it, but she just pulls it down from the hook and small hole in the wall that it's hanging upon. Then the mage hand disappears as she looks back over. Well, was it a good memory? Was it fun? Or at least interesting?
People died.
Well, I can't say I'm too surprised. It is a sword.
Interesting is one way to describe it.
It's not an experience most are used to. I've only gone into memories twice, I believe, and it's not something you get used to.
I was kind of imagining being inside a noir movie, but it was very vibrant.
What's a movie?
What's noir?
Both are valid questions.
And apparently without answers.
Okay.
So-
Is that some sort of thing from the Orange Sun that y'all do? Some sort of play? I don't understand. Well,
It was just a pastime where we would sit down, and those were words that I heard.
I see. As you can see, as she points down to the iron, the ritual did work. And consistent with our agreement, you can take the 10 functional pounds, and I will take the rest of them for my own uses. As presumably Doug, assuming you take them since you have the Shattered Memory, I am going to add 10 pounds of white iron, or memory iron. I'm going to put it down as memory iron. I'm going to put down 5 2-pound ingots. Well, we should have dinner up here in just a minute, and we can talk over the other questions y'all had. I believe you had some about the other sword, and I don't remember what the rest has been. I've been concentrating for the last 6 hours? Something like that. After a couple of minutes of y'all getting your bearings, as she takes the time to, seemingly without activating her telekinesis, shift some of the chairs around. No table in front of you, but moving around some of the things. After a couple of minutes, the door opens, and a halfling, I'm sorry, not a halfling, a gnome, the same man that you'd seen, seems to be some sort of butler, steps into the room. My lady, you're requested. And behind him floats this rather table, sort of. There is a tablecloth spread over this 5-6 foot wide round table head that, though you don't see any legs from it, is floating above the ground. Atop it are, let's see, let me make sure my count is right for all of you. Are 7 plates, as well as various glasses, a bottle of wine, and a pitcher of water in the center. As it floats over, the covered fine dishes remain on it as the gnome bows and steps out as this table floats in the middle of all of your different chairs. Please, enjoy. As she opens hers up, and each of y'all would see as well, it is rather finely grilled fish with some vegetables as well as some rolls, the wine and water as well, as she would fairly quickly begin to eat.
This isn't like centipedes and grubs disguised as good food, is it?
No. Why would I eat centipedes and grubs?
I was just wondering.
Is that something that's happened to you before? That seems... I mean, I was an adventurer at one point, so I can imagine, but... Seems unpleasant.
I think so. Or like, I think when I was with Lacephine and like under her spell, I thought it was a lot better than it was.
That sounds
Think
disturbing. Who's Lacephine?
Big
Well-
cat lady.
Like
Think
you?
No, she's a
Talk
dead
to you about
Lamia.
her.
No, she's a dead Lamia. We
Oh.
defeated her.
I got
Well
the
done.
circlet from her.
Ah. Well, then I guess my pitch about it being touched by a demon wouldn't be too out of whack, though that didn't end up going the way I wanted anyway. But yes, no, they're not grubs or anything. Lamia, you say? Is that the most interesting monster you've fought? I know you spent some time, gives a slight smile, disturbing the peace in Sheer, but I'm curious about the rest of your adventures.
No one's saying anything.
Everyone's looking around to each other quietly at the table.
Sorry, what was the question? My wife just came in and asked me something.
I'm curious about your other adventures. I know you caused some disturbances in Sheer, but I don't know much beyond that.
I wasn't with him there. I joined in Delta.
Well, that's a nice small town. Seems
I
like it'd
killed
be a
an
good
ogre.
place. Ooh, well done. They can be rather nasty. You are
Think it will
very
start eating.
okay, I guess this is a good question. I don't know if we've specified this before. Does Thicket like fish?
Yeah.
This is good fish.
Isn't he a cat?
Well, I don't want to make
Yeah.
an assumption.
Yeah, that's racist.
mild. That's mildly racist, even if it's correct.
Thicket is mostly an omnivore, and yes, he likes fish.
Good.
I didn't think that we were necessarily causing a problem in Sheer. It seemed that we were actually protecting the people. Has word gotten around otherwise? Is the situation worse?
Well, I've mostly just heard that Xander was unseated. That it was performed by a group that, though it was kept relatively quiet, my ears have heard that they're the messengers. It wasn't easy to keep track. It was not hard to keep track of you from there. Which, if you have any enemies, be aware I'm probably not the only person who knows. Though, from what I understand, they still haven't selected a new lord yet. Which is interesting. I'm curious about the fact that you decided to have the people choose a lord rather than picking your own horse, per se.
Well, we kind of feel like we interfered enough in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna dethrone one ruler and just put in another one, people don't like that.
Many don't. Some are used to it. It's part of the nature of Vacuo at this point. There's been... He begins to count on her fingers. 6 attempts to dethrone me. People tend to stop after the latest one. Most people have given up. Granted, that was 30 years ago, so maybe there'll be a new quote-unquote challenger at some point.
Did you use the pronoun me?
Come again?
Did you use the pronoun me?
Yes, I'm the Lord of Vane, and I believe I've been challenged 6 times. 2 in open combat. 1 where was a bandit lord, which I guess was technically open combat. There was 2 attempted assassinations. And I think the other one tried to buy me out. He did not succeed. I like my people, and they like me, so usually it's outsiders that try to remove me, if anyone. Those who would seek power.
I mean, you've seemed helpful enough. I don't really understand that. The only reason we did what we did is he was trying to forcibly conscript his citizens to war against Vacuo.
Ooh. That's interesting. Oh, I'm sure you definitely could have gotten help from Her Majesty or her people if you'd let them know there was a coup and attempt. But I'm impressed that you're willing to A, stop a tyrant, and B, not see fit to become them yourselves. It's rare to see. Well, it's a minority of adventurers who are kind-hearted. But if you are nothing more than mercenaries.
I mean, I don't think that's been our MO from the beginning. You know, when I met them, now granted, there's only 2 of the original party that did this, but when I first met the group, their desire was to save and spare as many kobolds as they could and give the kobolds chance to make a better choice. And now one has been traveling with us for some time to that end. So
Yes, Maverick had described you as quite kind people.
So now Thicket is wiser than me, and so maybe his idea of just not wanting to meddle further is better. But honestly, the only reason I didn't is I simply thought that the people who live there have the right to decide who should lead them. Some random folks who wouldn't be staying very long wouldn't have much of a claim and have no real reason to. So
A sentiment
yeah,
I agree with.
didn't really make sense.
That is a very wise decision, Thicket. Though, if you're continuing the path I think you're on, you said you're looking for those swords? Much like this one?
It seems to be the right way to do something in the land that can help everyone.
In that case, you will likely have to unseat at least one more lord.
Well,
Tatsui is rather married to his weapon.
and who's that? No, where does he rule?
Lord Sonata Tatsui. He is the Lord of Nace.
Would you happen to know anything about his sword?
He can create ice with it. I've seen him use it once as a show at one point, though I've never seen him in combat. Me and him get along acceptably. It's not a friendship, I'd say. But he is a wizard, and he's rather practiced. So I don't know how much of a physical fighter he'll be if you ever choose to take him on. He's rather vindictive, so be careful if you cross him to not leave it for very long. Most of the people under his power, as far as I understand, quite like him, but that can't be everyone, though that's true of everyone everywhere. There's no purely loved ruler. They don't exist. But
That's an interesting thing to say. I don't think you're wrong, but I never heard or thought of it in such a manner.
no matter what happens, there will always be people that dislike those in power, whether they're chosen, forced upon, or otherwise. Whether it's for real or superficial reasons, oftentimes both.
So how did you become Lord?
Well, it was quite some time ago. Who was it? He thinks back. Oh, that's right. My master, long time ago, was actually the Lord of Vane. He was a crotchety old man. But he did not want to die and give the seat to anyone else, so he asked me to kill him. Which I understood his reasons. So after a rather short fight, we accomplished his desire. In front of the town, they understood. They knew it was his request, and they had no problem with me taking over. That was a bit over a century ago. Oh goodness, a century and a half? A century and a half, maybe? Been a long time.
So wait, you're
Hmm?
like multiple centuries old, and you've only 6 times have people tried to kick you out of power?
They tend to get scared when they hear what happens to those who try to unseat me. Though I guess those are the ones that I've taken out personally. Maybe people like me, maybe they're afraid. Who knows? But yeah, as far as I can remember, only 6 individual times. And technically, I'm not multiple centuries old.
Are you a cult leader, perchance?
No. Just an old witch.
Okay, just asking.
I mean, I have my students, but I wouldn't call them cult members. They're all rather individual. They have their reasons for wanting to learn the ways of the arcane. I assure you, I would never intentionally take on any students that I knew had a evil intent with the magic. I believe you already met.
Cultist never knows that they're a cult, so.
Well, this is true.
But regardless, my personal well, I have 2. Then maybe 3. 3? Yeah. Okay, we'll go with 3. 3 things I'm interested in, and go back to whoever else you like after this. But the first thing is this, and I'm going to hand her the page of the list that was given to us that was relatively coded, but we were able to decipher it, and I'm assuming she will quickly be able to do so as well. But indicating which towns were being manipulated by this organization, and kind of let her basically sharing this information. I'm giving her free, information is a commodity, and it definitely seems to be with her. So I'm hoping that by giving this to her, she will give much back. So that's where I want to start, is with gifts.
All right. Let's see. Whose
Better than that.
inventory is that in?
So there was a bunch. Like I
It's
have
not
to
in
look again.
yours.
Is it in Gambit? I think it's in Gambit because it was the thing that he stole from the desk, right? Or maybe not.
The letter? No, it was the letter. Do you have the letter now?
I think it.
I don't know.
I don't. Let me check. I think you may be right. I think that maybe in Gambit's inventory.
Okay.
If not, I'll have to look up Ulrich's inventory again, which isn't a problem. I have his
That's
parcel
funny.
set
Wait, what are we
aside.
looking for?
He wants
That's
to
funny.
have her look at
What?
the
You need to wait a few seconds and have patience.
information that Ulrich Morning
Oh.
had.
Basically, the thing that was saying like where,
To divert
what
and
needs to be
send.
like the towns that they were against and that were probably doing good stuff versus the towns that were for them and therefore doing bad stuff. Like
Basically, who Silzander thought was on his side. For one reason or another. Let me see if I can.
I don't remember
Find
anything
that.
like that.
remember, there was a whole list and they were like listed by either one or two letters.
Let's see, shipping sign-offs. Okay, so these are the documents that he tried to frame Miss Darvishi with. Oh, it's,
I'm almost into my fantasy grounds.
well, it's not in your inventory, so you wouldn't find it there anyway. But I have found it. It's the letter from February 19th, this current year. Less than a week after the party started their adventure, which had nothing to do with you, so just a different time. From the House of the Rising Prince, or HRP, or House of the RP, House of the Rightful Prince. My bad. Ulrich, your struggles have been heard. Your debts will be paid. Your home returned to you. If you will follow our orders, you will divert critical resources from CQ, KN, CR, CC, DK, BS, and toward SH, DT, RF, GS, GN. And you're also tasked with sowing discords within Darvishi couriers and framing Miss Darvishi for anything you can. Unseat her. Do not fail us or face the consequences. How is your sister? Let's see what y'all had discovered functionally that CQ was leukemia, which is on the quote-unquote good side in this case. Let me start drawing. So let's actually make some check marks by the ones y'all like, just so we can keep track of this. Some X's on the others. Bonk.
Bonk.
Eh.
You just use two colors. Just use two colors. Use
That's true, but I don't have to change them every time. It's fine. I'm just gonna do the X and check mark. KN, which is Key Knight, which y'all already like, but now you like more, I guess. CR, y'all decided was Coral. CC is Calcite, which she would very quickly be realizing this as well. DK is Dike. BS is Basalt. SH is, of course, Sheer. DT, I believe y'all decided was Delta. RF is Reef. GS is Gosen. GN is Nace. And no other places are mentioned, so it always seems to be some of the individual cities. Things like Moraine, Tough, Miocene, Schist are all just ignored, at least in this letter. He quickly glances over it. Interesting. What can you tell me about this House of RP?
That's the guy. That's what's his name from Sheer, the one that we took out.
Silzander.
Yeah, that guy.
Let's see.
That stands for House of the Rightful Prince, according to him. And
Oh, so
The
this was
ones-
coup preparation.
right, and so the person that he was blackmailing, the addressee,
It's Ulrich.
yeah, he
How
was
was his
killed.
sister?
His sister was being used as leverage. No, I'm sorry. Actually, we kept him alive. We kept Ulrich alive. It
Oh,
was
I'm
her
glad.
husband. Her husband was killed, but we
Ulrich's
helped
husband?
bring him back. Yes, we helped. No, Ulrich's sister's husband.
Oh,
We helped to bring him back. And so he's alive now, and they get to have their proper life together. So that's nice. And yeah, Ulrich is now indebted to Miss Davishi on our behalf for resolving him and his family's woes. Yeah, and it happened to work out that the person we wanted to help ended up needing much more help than even he was aware. And so, in so taking out Salzander, not only did we help him and his sister and his brother-in-law, but we helped the entire town of Sheer avoid a conscription.
yes, I don't imagine they would have enjoyed being made into soldiers.
Not likely, no.
I'm glad you were able to stop them. I'm actually
So-
slightly disappointed I'm not on the list of enemies on this letter.
But neither are you a friend, so maybe he
Oh,
thought...
yes, but I'd rather have been one of his enemies. In regards
Perhaps
to
he thought that
coup.
you were like maybe 50-50. Maybe he had something where he thought you might be willing to just watch and see what happens. Maybe he thought you were a neutral party.
I can understand why he'd think that. And looking at the others, well, I can understand why he chose the locations he did in particular. Seems the ones who are more directly, what's the word, loyal to the Queen are the ones he was targeting, which is understandable, as well as some of the more powerful individuals. I doubt he'd enjoy being, or at least as much as possible, being on the opposite end of the Cindering Lord, or what's the other ones? The Cindering Lord and the Lord of Songs. They're both rather dangerous when they want to be, so I can see why he targeted them. Oral in particular could strike sheer from the seas, so I would assume he would have gone there first, as she seems to almost be creating a war map in her head. Interesting. I'm curious about just how much the lords of these various cities knew, or if they were simply being courted by Salzander. Though, it was more likely Liang doing the footwork. She hands it back to you. Is there anything in particular you want me to find from this, besides general information?
I suppose if you could maybe mislead or misdirect, specifically in Galson, Nace, I'm sorry, and Reef. If you, because we plan to make a way there. We already made it through Delta, no problem. There was a whole thing there. That was fun. We saved a day. It's always nice. And we'd like to get a call sometime. That'd be lovely. But no, I think the main
If you're a
thing would
bard,
be...
I think you'd like it. Coral is a rather beautiful place.
Well, that would be
Reef?
delightfully interesting. But so yes,
It's
Gossin,
alright.
Nace, and Reef. Gossin, Nace, and Reef. I'd really love it if you could perhaps maybe some sort of subterfuge to waylay any suspicions that we would be a pose of danger to them, that we might be better able to correct any issues that might be occurring in those fair places. Also, if you are so
No, Reef
willing,
sucks.
Oh goodness.
to Kokina, if you could let them know that they have a friend in the messengers, that also might be of use.
I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I could tell the Cindering Lord about you. Well, actually, no. I guess she would respect you. She's rather combative and desires to prove people in battle as much as possible. She's actually rather annoyed with me that I won't fight her. But if she found out you took down Sylzander, that'll likely get you in the door. Beyond that, I have no guarantee what her opinion will be. But she's not vindictive, so I don't expect anything negative from there. As for Gosen and Nace, I can likely speak to Sanada, Lord Tatsui, on general matters. From a academic point of view, however, I can't guarantee that he'll value my opinion on random adventures to be very much. To be honest, it would likely be better that you aren't on his radar at all, especially if you plan on involving yourself in his matters. I guess I should warn you in general. Whenever you go there, whatever you choose to do, once he knows you were there and has any idea of your intents, don't go to sleep.
Oh.
He's known as the Dreaming Lord for a reason. He seems to have some level of power of dreams and those who are within them. So be careful.
Well, all right then. That's
It's dangerous
Good
magic.
to know.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how he pulls it off on a citywide scale. It's a...
Is there any way that we could maybe use that against him? A weakness?
possible,
If
but
we
you'd have to
if we
figure
need
out
to.
how it works. I don't personally know how the magic
Oh.
works myself. It seems to be some variation of the dream spell, but on a grand scale. The fact that he can have an entire town within his effects, that's why I said some particularly like him is those that he favors tend to have very good dreams. Most people have normal dreams, if any at all, and those he dislikes sometimes don't wake up. So be careful.
well.
Yes, once you're on his
Sounds pleasant.
radar, don't go to sleep within the edges of the city. If you leave the city, you should be outside of his control. But once he knows you're there, if he doesn't like you, be careful.
Right. What if and please don't let me, I don't want to hog the time, but what if perchance you were to say, do you have any idea who took out Selzander? Can you believe he's been unseated? If you were to be the surprise party and he was the one to inform you, and if he says, "Oh yes, I heard it's just a group called the Messengers" or something, you say, "That can't be right. No, they're lighthearted merrymakers." And then you talk about someone else that you heard was dangerous in the area, whoever you feel is would make a good redirected target. If you think that would work with him, I don't know him. You know him at least a little, but anyway, that's just a thought. Just
I make no promises, but I can see what I can do.
Delightful. Thank you, ma'am.
As for Gosen, he tends to follow whoever he believes to be the strongest. Currently, I believe that's the Queen. I don't entirely know what Selzander thought he could get from him. Then again, it's potential that he believed he could buy him. He's known as the Lord of Greed for a reason.
Oh, I can't wait to take him down then.
You don't necessarily have to. I mean, that's up to you if you believe him to be a necessary target.
I'm not a fan of greed.
Well, then you may have a fight on your hands.
Greed is a hunger that's never satisfied.
That is quite exemplified with him. As for Reef, I mean, it's a city of pirates. I'm sure more
Ugh.
freedom was.
Corrupt politics.
It sounds like you've got a personal experience with Reef.
It's where I was born.
I take it you didn't like being born into piracy? Or were you one of the more
No, I
normal?
didn't like being born into forced slavery.
Oh. There. You speak of their prisons? The slavery is currently outlawed in the entire country, so if there's something of that case, the Queen would like to know.
Yeah, their prisons are just a disguise for slavery.
Something to look into. I don't know the exact opinions of Eisen. He's rather gruff, but I don't know, him and I aren't terribly close. I don't have much luck to give you, except to be aware he's quite strong, as, well, all the four lords of this cities are. And not to be trifled with, as I'm sure you landed with Salzander. Should you ever go back there, be careful. But also, it's a land of pirates, so people can be bought, and they respect power. I can see what I can give in. Perhaps I should ask some questions of Megrog or Eisen. I'll see what I can do to.
I'd rather stay off of Eisen's radar. So maybe not mention the messengers to him.
She leans
He would
forward, leans on
recognize
one
me.
hand. What did you do?
Let's just say there are cracks in his system, and I slipped through.
Interesting. Well, you mentioned slavery in the prisons, so I can see where that part comes in. I'll leave that to you. I won't ask any more questions. Sometimes it's better to have less information.
Yep.
Be careful of those locations, but you should be more or less safe within the others. Though I could say that for most of the cities, especially if you're not important or make yourself unimportant. For example, within Gosan, if you don't give Megrog a reason to know about you, he will not think about you in the slightest. I guess this does bring us a segue. You'd asked about that sword. I do recognize the design. She points over to the Scorching Solarium. I've seen two like it. One, as I believe you already said you knew, was that of the Lord of Nace, Sanada Tatsui. The other was owned by the previous Lord of Dyke, Lord Felwind.
Previous as in no longer there?
He's dead. Been dead for a few years now. He...
So you don't know
believe-
what happened to it after he died.
I haven't seen it. He died during some event. I don't believe I caught from the new lord what it was. Golden Fang is rather private about her father. It was passed down from him to her. The sword, I don't know at least, but the lordship was. So she may have knowledge of it at the very least, but I'm sorry I haven't seen it since he passed.
And so it could just even be buried with him, like a memorial.
It's entirely possible. That's been known to happen, especially with magical artifacts. But those are the only two other sorts of that that I know of. How many are there?
I can't remember. Was it 4 or 6?
I believe there's 4.
I see.
But now we know where a third one is, so that's delightful. Thank you.
You're most welcome. You said you had 2 more questions for me.
Oh yes, I did. So one, I believe you said I should see my uncle before we started the whole.
In the area. If you find yourself in the area of Lahar, I think it would probably be good to see him. Even if he's your uncle, he can't force you to do anything against your will.
Gives me an idea. All right.
And I've never found him to be vindictive, though he does talk about family a lot. Which I believe is what you'd mentioned. That he's dynastic when it comes to his desires.
It's the last word I heard before you. The last person I spoke to didn't seem to speak of him too favorably. You, however, are, so that's an interesting perspective.
No.
But gives me an idea.
Different people have different perspectives. I could be
gives
wrong.
me an idea. No, it's fine. And then the last thing is I was saved by a storm phoenix by the name of Decim. And,
oh goodness.
Some other more malicious spirit entity has tried to threaten me, perhaps sway me over or something. But I find no redeeming kinship in this opposing force. So, do you have any knowledge or information about that might be
I'll need some more
helpful?
details. What do you know of this opposing force?
Came in the form of woman, was aggressive, powerful, just felt dark, like as if the hells sent a storm. And Decim made it seem clear that I would fight this person at one point or another, so...
If one of the 12 are giving you an indication, I would recommend you follow it. What is your relationship to Decim?
In magical terms, I would say he's effectively my patron.
Ah. I thought he didn't take them anymore. Well, if that's the case, choosing between a servant of Aether and a dark figure of a woman, I would recommend choosing Decim. I think Decim was likely a better choice. I wouldn't recommend falling into any sort of temptation from all power that this woman may offer you, though it doesn't seem like you're terribly interested in her anyway. As for what she might be, really something the heavens don't like. To narrow it down would be quite difficult.
If I learn more, I'll send you information and perhaps you can help me further.
Please do. But if he's sending you to her, I'd recommend following his indications whenever it comes to that. Whether he takes you there now or later, I wouldn't trust the person that he showed you.
All right, thank you.
Of course. Well, it looks like our dinner's about done. Are there any other questions? I do have some students to attend to this evening. I had to push off a few meetings during your excursion.
Do you know where I could go buy flowers?
Oh yes, they're likely closed now, but there is a shop in the main square. She looks around and then points to what you would know to be the left of the building, the eastern side, technically south, but eastern direction, your right. If you're facing the library to the right, that direction, there should be a flower shop in the main courtyard. Mike is looking up the name that he wrote down.
I can buy myself flowers.
Where is it? The Enchanted Florals. The Enchanted Florals. It's run by a man named Yerlith.
How do you spell that?
Florals or Yerlith?
Yerbilith.
It is Yerolth. Yerlith.
Thank you.
Of course. And I'm going to put that in the session highlights with all the other names, Bonk. He's a nice man, a bit. He's better with plants than he is with people.
I relate.
Now, if it's all the same to you all, I will have him. I will have the guy I'm forgetting the name of, because I don't remember if I actually gave the gnome butler a name. I'm sure I did, but it's slipping my mind. Show you all out. And perhaps I will see you later before you leave. If not, then I hope you have a good travel and good luck the rest of your journeys. Careful. Though, I'd like to see you at some point with the book. Remember? Should be owned by Simeon in Vacuo.
Just in case, I want to write down the name again. Hey, just in case. So, Simeon, book, in Vacuo. What's the name of the book?
Yeah, so it is Simeon in Vacuo or of Vacuo. He doesn't have a last name. It is called The Mysteries of Starlight.
All right.
She described it as being a book about astromancy. Or,
We have previously learned that Simeon is like related to the whole magic school, and I believe was Asaka Yori's teacher.
Yep, you have at this point learned that Simeon was the teacher of not only Asuka Yori, but also Moretta, your old friend from a while back, who had to return home.
And we're invited there, right?
You are invited to the Hain Institute, yes. There is... Y'all have just under a month before the...
Where's the Hain Institute?
In Vacuo, the capital.
Oh, okay.
It is a magic school. There are a couple smaller ones, typically major wizards such as Sasha will take on various apprentices, but as far as schools go, it's basically just the Hain Institute in Vacuo. Like in the country, that's the main school. Or at least sorcerers and wizards. Or other sorts of magic, you might find them in other places. As you're all let out, the sun has just about finished setting. The evening is fully upon you as it's closer to 7:30. It seems a lot of the shops have already closed up in this main courtyard in front of the library, the rather large park, the fountain in the center. Various chairs around it that y'all remember from the night before when you'd stalked it out waiting for a secret admirer to show up. Maverick seems to be actually a Gambit and Thicket. Make insight checks.
We're supposed to do that again, right? But we may have missed it.
Who knows? Y'all didn't see the person last night. Y'all did see someone who seemed to see y'all and then leave. Whether or not that was...
Insight. Whoa! Oh my gosh! It went the
All the
wrong
way
way
around?
across my screen. All the way to the right. Insight. Waboom! Wow! Wow! In a rare moment of emotional clarity.
So, Gambit, Thick would not realize, but Gambit would, that Maverick seems a little quiet, a little absent-minded. As he's kind of walking toward the back of the group. Wherever y'all are going next. Whether you choose to do something now, something with that now, long rest, or not at all is up to you. What would the party, Gambit, and anyone else like to do?
Maverick and Gambit are sharing a room, right?
Correct.
Okay.
If it's like we're all getting ready for bed or whatever, I wanted to see if we were gonna go check for that one person or whatever. If that was what was going on, I just missed it. I'm sorry.
No, it's up to y'all. Effectively, y'all have just gotten out of the library, and it is 7:30 p.m. on Sunday the 21st. The only guaranteed thing y'all have is you do have, it's not paid yet, but you have a pre-agreement to perform on Friday night the 26th at the Dancing Goose.
Okay, and is it Friday night now?
No, it's Sunday
Okay.
night. You have until
Okay.
Friday. She also promised you, I believe it was an additional... I think the agreement was 5 gold pieces for each night you perform in your... just like when I want to perform. And then you're booked for 15 gold pieces to play on Friday for sure. And then, of course, all your tips and rooms are included at the Dancing Goose as well.
Okay. Then I guess, we had time to perform, and then to go and try to find that person or whatever. It was like a garden or something, like right in front of the library, if I remember. Like maybe it was a fountain square or something.
Yeah, it's kind of a park square in the center of the town in front of the library with a fountain in the center.
Okay. While we're heading back then, before I perform there, I'm going to make sure I'm either catching up or holding back for Gambit, and I'm going to watch Gambit and say, listen, I'm looking at the map and I have an idea, and if you think it's a good idea, then I'd like to do this, but I think after Vacuo and the events there, I think we need to go to Coquinia, and maybe make allies there, and then head to Gossin and Nace and take care of that sort of thing. Then I'd like to go to Schist, not just to check in with Mr. Vichy, but also head from Schist down to Lahar and see if I can convince my uncle to give us some assistance in settling things with Reef so that you no longer need to be on the lookout for captors.
That sounds like a plan to me. I sure hope somebody's writing this down.
You don't have to worry about that. I will not forget this plan. This is the plan that I want to do to help you.
You said you wanted to go Vacuo, Coquinia, Gossin, Nace, Schist, Lahar?
Then to Schist, and then from Schist go down to Lahar, talk to my uncle, see if we can get some support, possibly naval support, and then head to Reef, and with a show of force and whatever else is necessary, either clear Gambit's name or make it so that nobody wants to follow him ever again.
Interesting.
Garan wants to protect his friend, and he's trying to be like, hey, Gambit, if you're willing to do this, this is what I would like to do. because I don't want you to have to look over your shoulder anymore.
I mean, we can if you wanna, but like, I can lay low, but there's no guarantee that I mean, we led a coup, and powerful people are starting to look at us. So it's gonna be a matter of time before someone recognizes me.
Which is why I'd like to handle it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Now, the ball is in a month, and I don't think that we can do all of those things in a month. So,
Yeah. Let's make sure that we have plenty of time. I mean, we can take it pretty easy.
right. If also if we
I
aren't
mean,
if we
like,
aren't raising a ruckus, maybe it'll die down to look after us. Who knows? But there's always the possibility also that since we have the time to theoretically go investigate Tough, or we can go over to Dyke and speak to the lady and perhaps find out about the third sword. We have time to do things, but I think, based on what the librarian lady said, I at least should go speak to my uncle.
okay. Well, dude, that seems pretty scary too. So I want to let you know that you got my back in Reef, and I got your back when we go see your uncle. Because he does seem like he can be pretty manipulative. He
I'm
seems like a manipulative person.
he might be. It might. Who knows? Maybe it runs in the family. But jokes aside, I appreciate it. I didn't want to make this plan as a team without your knowledge and okay. And I would like to talk to the team about this. Perhaps after my performance and all, and maybe while we're getting ready for bed and whatnot. Also, if we're going to go look for that person, in the evening after my performance, that might be a time. I don't know, but yes, thank you. And then
All right.
I'll start heading to the end to get ready to perform.
All right. Is there anything anyone else would like to do or accomplish before the events surrounding midnight, assuming y'all are going back to try and find this person?
Gambit will what's Garand? I don't know why I forgot that. Garand is getting ready for his performance and performing. Gambit's gonna go up to Maverick and be like, "Hey, you okay, dude? You seem a little down."
Okay. In that case, you're doing that. I'll keep that in mind. Sam and Maury, what are Thicket and John doing, and what is Doug doing?
I was gonna ask Garand if he doesn't mind if I guest perform.
Like instead or alongside. I mean,
Alongside.
I don't see why it would be a problem. If they're all right with it, I am.
Wait.
I mean, you at least tried to participate in that whole event, and you did not let Thicket go by himself. So, I mean, at least you're trying. I mean, I still don't really know you very well yet, so there's that. But I have no outward hostility towards you anymore.
It's a bonding performance.
Take it for what you will. So.
All right. And Thicket and Doug, are y'all accomplishing anything, or are y'all just hanging around?
Doug hanging around.
All right.
Like it'll just be journaling, I guess, until the performance.
Oakley dokley. In that case, since it is 9 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break here. Let people get a chance to get some water, anything they need to, and then we'll come back for the rest of the session.
Alright.
Dope. Let's make monies.
Money.
Money's.
Money
Dropping
and
some
plans.
money. Dropping all my money.
Well, that's gonna be, well, maybe that should be the name of the session, is gotta get that gold.
But it's gold 3 times, right?
You mean gold, or gold with 3 Ds?
Either or.
Gold with 3 Ds, I think. Gotta get the gold. Gold. Da.
Oh, I was thinking of the song.
Yeah, I was too. Gotta get
And-
that boom, boom, boom.
Ah, gotta get that gold. Okay, sure. Honestly, until right now, I had forgotten that song existed. At all. I do have to get more water, so I will be back. And back. Oh. We're actually getting a little bit of washer now. Or dryer.
What are you doing, Chris? Or is that the dish or the washing machine?
I think it might be his dryer. It wasn't loud before, but it's gotten a mind of its own, apparently.
The mic was trying to find any sound because there's no ambient noise. Other than that,
Well, I mean, I have the music playing. Currently, it's the song "The Prestigious Mask" from Near Replicant.
no, I mean his mic is trying to find anything to.
Oh, yeah, anything to send in
It
rather
doesn't
than.
like silence. Yeah.
I figure also I might as well go ahead and put a list of the. I'm going to temporarily mute him on my side. Put a list of all of the lords that y'all know the names of. Do y'all know the Lord of Basalt? I don't know if y'all got the name of the Lord of Basalt. Technically, the Lord of Coral, one of your characters would already know the name of the Lord there. Timer is up. Is Chris back? Okay, so even if he's back, I still can't hear anything but the sound of a dryer, which is okay.
No one is talking.
Cool. Hello. I'm making a list of all the lords that you'll know the names of. Boop boop.
A lot of things just happen in these 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dropped my ice cream on my dog. He's fine.
I'm sure he loved that.
Realized that I needed to add stuff to our Walmart order. Realized I wasn't signed into my phone. Had to find my mom's phone to verify the account. So then I had to intimidate my mother's voice to get Google to our Google Home to ring it. And I wish I failed at. Victoria got it perfectly though. Found the phone, turned around, and got jump scared by a bad CGI Doctor Who character from season like 2.
Yeah, that'll do it. That sounds like a wild few minutes. Reminder, we are still on stream. Wild.
It was very, very wild. I'm sending the character and pictures art.
Please do.
At least he was apologizing. Or no. Stick it in another universe.
Is that even CGI?
I can't tell.
It looks like CGI to me.
It looks like
Yeah.
costume makeup like they do for the Broadway musicals Cats.
No, cause those cats look better than this. This looks like Cats 2020 CGI.
I don't know, man. It looks like makeup to me, like a mask
Mm,
and prosthetics.
it could be.
Here's the list of the lords you know. You've got partial information on half a dozen of them. You've got full information on a couple, and by full I mean like their whole name and title and everything. And then there are a couple that you just don't know. You don't know anything about the Lord of Tuff or Tecton. You don't know anything about the Lord of Calcite or Basalt. Moraine doesn't have one. You don't know the name of the Lord of Songs. You don't know the title of Lord Goldenfang. Don't know who's taking Selxander's spot. And you know that it's Queen Estrella Valoran Malik who rules over both the city and the country of Vacuo. There you go. I'll pin that for later me. That's what y'all know. Bonk. I see we're still waiting on people. Got Jocelyn and Lauren. Oh,
I'm back.
Chris is
I'm
here.
here. I'm back.
Okay.
Here.
I assume Chris is doing the mute because of his dryer. Is Sam back?
Yeah.
Cool beans, then I guess we're ready to keep going. Oh, we just hit a new song in the playlist. Let's go. Bump bump. D&D gameplay. There you go. Not that we really need the D&D gameplay thing up right now. It's not super relevant at the moment, but you know. Excuse me. So as we come back in with some of you just hanging out with Garand and John preparing for the performance, which there are already people eating dinner, so it'll be a very quick preparation before going on stage. Y'all can go ahead and set some performance checks if you'd like. Looks like Garand is using a hero point, which
I think I probably will too.
sure thing. One thing you can do, it's up to you if you want to use it. There are two ways to go about activating the effect. One is to actually just roll a d4 and then add that number into your modifier window beneath the chat box like Garand did, or Christopher has. The other option is under the hero point thing. If you press the magnifying glass, there should be an effect that you can throw on yourself that'll make your next roll have an extra d4 on it. So either way works.
Out of curiosity, how do you
Yeah.
throw the effect on yourself if there's not a combat version of you out?
There is a combat version of you out.
I have
I mean on the combat tracker. So you can use the
okay.
you can use the combat tracker as well as I think it's set to self. So I think if you just click on it, I don't think you have to drag it anywhere, and it should apply it to yourself. But let me check.
Well, that was horrible.
Oh yeah, that's a total of 11. So let me see. The effect is set correctly.
Out of curiosity, we don't have anything that can give me advantage, and nobody here has guidance, right? None of those things are accurate? We don't have those?
Yep.
Okay.
It's set to self, so you should be able to just click on the effect and add it to yourself for the feature, or you can just add the 2 you rolled.
I have guidance.
Oh. I think it has guidance.
We've
but,
kind of... It's been a
yeah.
thing where I've not been allowed to use it for performances at like bars and taverns and stuff.
Because they're a longer period of time.
It doesn't last as long.
Guidance is like a one action thing, whereas for a longer period of time. I mean, technically, both of you could inspire the other.
I have Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, both of you could probably Bardic Inspiration each other. Narratively, that makes sense to me if y'all like playing off each other's performance.
Sure.
Which I think... Let me check what the Bardic Inspiration size is for each of you. I believe Garand's is currently...
All right, sorry, they were jeans. I had to hang them up. Sorry.
You're okay. We realized that technically y'all can Bardic Inspiration each other, even though you can't Guidance, because Guidance only applies to like a single turn, and the performance takes a couple of hours. I would say because y'all are like playing off of each other, you could bardically inspire each other.
Nice.
Which
I will absolutely do this.
for Garon's is a d6, so John can roll a d6 and add it to his. And then let me see what it is for John. John is a higher level. He's at level 7, so his is a d8. So
Woohoo!
you can roll a d8 for Garon's. All right, so 5. So that brings John's up to a total of 17.
16,
Is that right? 16, you're right. And we still need Garon to roll his performance. You currently have a +8 bonus.
Well, it should be. I should have +6 because the 2 it rolled for the next roll that I had from my other.
I see.
So it's just 6, so it's fine.
Cool, so just 6 then. That makes me feel better. Because, you may break your ceiling again on your performance
Yeah, that'd be
record.
hilarious. That'd be
Just
so
the
great.
third night in a row, just break the performance record. Okay, so you're in line. You're in the same vein as if you'd rolled like a natural 20, I believe. Or a little bit less than that. But you're still in
How
a
do you
really
have a
good
plus
spot.
17 to performance?
It's 11 normally, but
It's 11
I used
normally.
but you boosted me and I used a hero
A
point.
hero point.
I
Just to
guess.
throw it up. Okay, so John is playing well. Garand is really riding off of the energy. And his string of performances one night after each other. Y'all are doing great. During that time, with the amazing background music, Gambit, you pull Maverick off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And what was you said to
Hey,
him?
what's up, buddy?
Oh,
What's up, buddy? You seem a little down.
I just have something on my mind, is all.
Care to elaborate?
While y'all were, in the ritual thing, I guess I got offered an apprenticeship.
Ooh. Here?
Yeah, the Sasha lady wants me to work under her and learn from her. She looked at my stuff and said I was pretty talented. Apparently she knows about, I think she called it mechanations or mechanisms. The things I build. Artificer.
Yeah, dude, that's
talents.
awesome.
Yeah, it sounds interesting, but I don't know if I want to leave y'all. Because I'd have to stay here.
Right. I understand that, but and we definitely would miss you, but it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting their Cedar. It's kind of like when Cedar left. Like we'll always kind of be with each other, and you kind of know where we're going, and we'll know where to find you. So it's up to you. But that sounds like an amazing opportunity to learn from someone whose skill I cannot fathom. So
You think so?
yeah, I think so. I mean, you can talk to the other people at our party, but I'm sure that they'd say the same thing. It sounds like a great opportunity to learn.
Garan and Thicket and the others that were with him kind of saved me, and I don't really want to let him. I don't want to let him down by leaving them. I want to be helpful.
Yeah, well, you should ask them how they feel about it.
Yeah, I guess I should.
I think you'll be surprised by the answer.
Nate, let's see, pets on his side. I'd probably bring Claude with me I don't know, maybe. I still want to build him a body, so I guess he could go with y'all, and then I could, send it later on. I'm happy with the place.
Well...
Nice to be around with books. I don't really know all that many things, so I could be read to. Maybe teach the whippersnappers a thing or two while I'm at the school. Yeah.
I think that sounds like a great opportunity for the both of you.
You turn to Garand. Or he turns to Garand, playing the music. John over there as well, keeping up with him, but Garand smiling, clearly enjoying and living in the moment of it. It's weird. We didn't have music. Not like this. Okay. I'll think about it and maybe talk to him. See what they think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, this music is on point.
Like having music, man. It's a great addition. As the evening continues, with those amazing with the amazing and very, very good sets of performance, continuing to draw in a crowd. Additionally, people that are basically, in the same way as Thicket saw last time, are staying for Garand's music until he decides he's done. What time is he going to decide that he's done? What time are y'all finishing your performance? It was about 8 o'clock when he would have started. There would be as many
Assuming.
people. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, assuming that we're gonna try for the thing again, it'd be like 10:30, so a very solid concert.
Yeah, most definitely. Presumably, y'all could each take breaks, so hopefully it would be better for our resident violinist here to excuse the amount of time they'd be playing.
I mean, 3 hours is doable. I've done it for an opera. It sucked, especially 3 days in a row, but
Oh,
it's doable.
okay. So they wouldn't be too bad, especially being able to let the other play for a few minutes and take breaks.
On a
Over the
violin, your
course of-
fingers would be raw after that much time.
Yeah, well, after playing for 10 years, you kind of build up calluses.
Yeah, I was about to say, with the amount that Garon and John both play, they have calluses for days. Oh,
Especially if you play like a guitar as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember what each of them plays as well.
I
What are y'all's
believe-
other instruments? The lute and...
I think I can play a flute. I can't remember if
Is
that's
it-
what it is.
I think it's... So, Garon
Pan
can
flute,
play the
bagpipes,
lute.
and loop.
And the violin.
Okay. So Garon is lute and violin, and then John is...
A pan flute, bagpipes, and a lute.
Oh, have you been playing the lute? I guess I assumed you played violin.
Yeah, I have the
with this.
lute.
Ah, so you've been playing the lute with this, not violin. Okay. I was kind of under the impression you were playing the violin because I messed up. But no, you have pan flute, bagpipes, and lute, which you'll currently have the lute with you. Y'all should get him a set of bagpipes at some point. That would be fun. The time would pass. Let's go ahead and roll y'all some cash money. For gold pieces, oof, y'all got max on the roll.
Bling bling.
It didn't show up properly on the chat, but I saw what they were. It was 12 gold. Nah, it should be... you rolled
6
really
and 6.
well, and it's a Sunday, so 13 gold.
So 7 and 6.
Sure. 9 silver. And 13 copper.
So 13, 9, and 13.
Yes.
All right. So I will take 7 gold and give him 6.
On top of the 5 that Gerald would give you for the performance in general.
Okay.
So you'd get another
and then-
5 gold as well, bringing you up to 18 total. Which
All
I
right.
guess technically you can choose if you want to share because you're the one who made the deal. But
No, it's fine. But I will let. So I'm going to give him 6 out of the tips, so he gets almost all the tips there. But I'm going to also let him have the silver and the copper.
all right. So
Well, thank you.
in that case, effectively, Garon gets 9 gold, and you can add to your sheet, Sam. In the money section at the bottom of the inventory, add the 6 gold, 9 silver, and 13 copper. It gets to around 10:30 as y'all finish up. What are y'all doing to prepare for whatever is happening in the park?
I guess just the kind of the same thing that we did last time, but maybe not so elaborate.
Hey, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about me and Thicket maybe being in the portable hole, and you carry the portable hole, and if danger, you just open it up, we jump out, we start attacking. If not danger, then you open it up and say, well, my friends are here to protect me, so if you're really not in any danger, then it's not going to bother you that they're here. And so it's basically like we're getting out either way so that we're not in danger, like of suffocating, but it's either we're fighting them or we're not fighting them. It's one of those.
Does the portable hole have an oxygen limit?
It does.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't trust my ability to count to 10 minutes very well.
I could cast the spell Air Bubble, but I don't have it prepared.
It's okay. I think that's a great idea if we had planned further in advance.
Something to keep in mind for later, that I believe the air bubble gives the person a guaranteed hour of air.
It lasts 24 hours.
24 hours of air, so...
Dude.
I'm checking the portable hole. Y'all can climb out. It doesn't have to be opened for you, apparently. Oh, no, it does have to be... No, yeah, I think... Okay, you can force yourself out of the hole. And it has 10 minutes of air, which is split between people inside. So if you had 2 people in there, it'd be 5 minutes of air per person.
All right, what about this idea? All right, so here, right, Doug loves to be up on the roof, right? So Doug takes the portable hole, and we're all up on the roof, and then it's just open on someone's roof, because it's not like it's going into their actual home, right? I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. So, then we can hear everything that happens, and we'll be right there ready to jump out and save you. Or something in the neighborhood. If the buildings are too far away from where that bench was and whatnot. Does that make sense?
No, explain that again.
Effectively, we are nearby, but the hole is open, and we're just breathing, and we're just listening. But it's in such a way that maybe it's not obvious that the hole's there, like on a roof or something. Excuse me.
The fountain, as you would have learned the other night, is roughly 500 feet from the nearest buildings that are on each side of the park.
Yeah, I don't think that plan's gonna work either.
At
I'd
least not on the
say
building.
just kind of,
Should I be polymorphed again, like last time?
yeah, I think that's a good idea. To be polymorphed, and then just kind
Or
of
wild
do
shape?
like a simple disguise or something.
I mean, this fountain is pretty big, right?
Yeah, it's like 8
Mhm.
feet wide.
Couldn't we just hide behind?
A little bit
like-
higher than that, closer to like 10 feet wide.
Yeah, couldn't we just like hunker down, like on the opposite side of it?
I mean, we can certainly try.
It's very Scooby-Doo of you.
Good.
How big is the fountain?
It's about 10 feet wide. The rim comes up about 2 feet. Closer to 3 feet up on the rim, with enough space to like sit on the edge of the fountain. The rest of the fountain goes up another 5-6 feet, with 2 more tiers on top of the base. Oh, I'm sorry, it's actually 1
Think
tier
you
from
could
what I
turn
described
into
last
a
time.
fish.
I could.
and get into the fountain.
I'm just trying to think of ways to get closer without being detected. I can't do like a tiny hut on the fountain because the tiny hut is as big as the fountain.
Um,
Well, I guess I want to do the same thing I did last time, hide in the alley. I have dimension door this time, so I can get pretty close pretty quickly.
True.
Okay. I think getting behind the fountain is okay. It's not a bad idea.
what about laying the portable hole on the other side of the fountain, and it looks like concrete?
You're really invested in this whole portable hole idea, aren't you?
I really want all of us to be able to help Gambit if Gambit needs help. That's my goal.
I think, honestly, for some reason, I'm not as worried as I was last time. Maybe it's just false confidence, but I think if you guys are just near and act like you're not paying attention, we should be fine.
And plus, like, I could be spider mode, like right up next to Gambit, and then if something goes wrong, boom, bear mode. What are they gonna do
Yeah.
against a bear?
It is possible, you know. Why don't we stay further back, and John is ready to dimension door in, but perhaps Doug and I stay further back,
I can
and
take one person with me.
you could take Doug because I
There we
can do
go.
ranged. So let's do that, and effectively, if we hear a bear roar in the middle of the night, in the middle of a town, that should be reason enough to know
That's
that
fair.
Gambit's in danger. So, Thicket, if you turn into a bear, make sure the first thing that you do as you turn into a bear is to roar a very good bear roar.
Got it.
Let's give it a
Sounds like
shot.
a good plan.
So, from what I understand, you've got Garand, Doug, and John all hanging out in a nearby alley, ready to boof on over / attack from far range. You've got Thicket and Gambit hanging out in the at the fountain. What is Thicket going to turn into? I think it was
Spider.
Spider. I think you turned into a ferret last time, but spider this time.
I did.
Okay.
I did choose ferret last time, but
Okay.
this time I'm gonna go for something that makes a
And
little more
what
sense.
would y'all like Maverick to do?
You can hide on my hat.
Awesome.
I don't think I fell on your hat.
Maverick should be somewhere where his armor's not gonna be all clanky. I don't remember if he's traveler or not.
Do you have polymorph?
I do.
Can you polymorph him into?
Yeah, you can
worth
polymorph
noting.
him into a spider, and then I can have two spiders.
Be aware of whatever someone is polymorphed into, they do
thing
gain the
is-
mental stats of.
Oh,
Yeah, I can be smart spider, but Maverick will be dumb spider.
Oh,
We
Well,
could maybe turn him into a dog and have him chill with Jackie. I don't know where Jackie is. Is she left at the room?
honestly, Maverick stay with
Where
John.
do y'all want Jackie to be? Like, sorry, continue.
I would leave Jackie. I would leave Jackie at the room. I don't want to risk this. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's danger zone.
I feel like Maverick can stay with John, and I can go solo in the shadows.
watch, we're going to all this trouble, and it's just going to be like a courier giving her a letter.
Who? Giving who a letter?
Yeah.
Giving him.
Him. Sorry.
Gambit's him. Yeah. So make sure I understand. Doug is going to hide nearby, probably in a tree, knowing Doug. And then John, Maverick, and Garand are going to be nearby. In an alley.
In an alley, yeah.
Sounds about right.
Alright. In that
Sounds like plan.
case, I need
Or you-
a. Sorry.
Or you know Maverick is short enough anyway that Maverick
He's a
could
short king. It's true.
just be behind the fountain standing up.
He's not that
Call him
short.
Maverick.
Well, I mean, you said
Let me check. As it said,
You said-
that it was about 3 feet tall. Maverick
Oh.
is 2'8", so I guess technically he doesn't come up to the edge of the fountain.
You said the fountain was only a 2-foot tall lip.
I think I changed it to 3 because part of the intent is that
Oh.
people can like sit on the side of it. There's enough room for people to be able to like sit with their back to the fountain.
Oh, okay.
so. If Maverick just like sits on the floor or on the ground, then like he's still under the lip.
He could try and hide under the lip. It's worth noting his armor is still loud, but he could definitely try and stealth there.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have to move. He just has to hide.
I mean, still, if you've ever tried to hide in one spot, you will end up shifting around.
But also, it's a fountain, so the fountain's making noise anyway.
Enough to give him a slight bonus, sure. He does have proficiency in stealth. He's got disadvantage, but he does have a +7 right now. It's up to y'all. Where do you think he'd be best suited?
I mean, I would say up close because he's pretty evasive.
I could cast Pass Without a Trace before I polymorph so that Maverick could be close and also have advantage or like +10 with stealth.
It'd probably be close enough for that.
That would work.
Is that what y'all want to do?
Sure.
Yeah.
All
Why
right. I'm adding a +10 to his roll for it.
Just don't hide, Gambit, so that the person who's looking for you can see you.
And where
Oh.
is Doug gonna be at? Is he in a tree or something nearby?
Yeah, he's gonna be in the trees that were, I think, like 60 feet away.
Okay. In that case, I need Maverick and Doug to make stealth checks. I guess technically Garand and John need to as well, but they're in a bit of an easier place to be, given
I
their
would like to-
distance.
One as well, considering I would like to be pretty unnoticed on Gambit's hat.
That's true. You also need to make one. With advantage
So-
for Spider, I'll say.
It was... Oh, is it advantage for Spider?
Yes.
Because there's also +10 for the Pass Without a Trace.
Yes, you would get the +10 for pass that trace. I need to send something in the in just the Remnant Lunar Archon chat.
Why?
Just trust me. It's
Okay, wait. So Spider says its stealth is +4, and I naturally have a stealth +5. So I would
you would
just
take
use
the
mine.
spiders. You would use the spiders because you take on its physical attributes. If it does not have proficiency, but you have proficiency, you would gain the proficiency. So you would get the +3 bonus to bring it up to a +7, but you would have to use its dexterity modifier for sure. So this is what Maverick rolled.
So, okay, wait. How does proficiency work for it?
We
Matthew.
thought that Garand had the highest
Ew.
roll of the
Yeah.
night.
Maverick rolled double nat 20s on his disadvantage,
I think that
Whoa.
bringing him to a total of
I think
37.
that my guy slipped into another universe.
Yeah, even
That's how
Gambit and
imperceptible he
Thicket
is.
have not, like, do not even know. Thicket doesn't even get the sensation that Maverick is benefiting from Pass That a Trace. That's how hidden he is. He's hidden from Thicket's awareness of the magic. Let's see. For the cat, it does have proficiency in stealth, so you'll just have to roll its stealth, the +4.
Okay.
Which for the +10, you'll probably need to put 10 in the modifier window on the bottom left for that.
What?
The modifier window underneath the chat, you can type 10 in that for Pass Without a Trace.
I don't know how I'm rolling it though. Like it said, I don't know how proficiency works with it. Because I have proficiency in stealth, but I don't know if the spider does.
It does also have proficiency. So I went ahead and pressed the button to make you change.
Oh, okay. I forgot there was a
yeah.
new extension or whatever for it.
Yep, so now you can just... Oh, looks like you get to keep your stuff, so you get your stealth bonus, your stealth proficiency. It appears... Oh, I turned you into a cat, my bad. I need to undo that and turn you into a spider.
Can I do it?
Yeah. Go ahead
Okay.
and turn yourself into a spider. Can anyone name the movie?
Yes.
Austin Powers film.
What was that?
Megamind.
Oh.
It's
Correct.
Megamind.
It's Megamind.
Woohoo! Two are right.
I can
Okay,
quote
and
Megamind a lot,
I
but
put
didn't
the
know that was
effect
Megamind
for
quote.
Pass Without a Trace on myself. Is that just for concentration?
Yes, that's just for concentration purposes. Unfortunately, it does not give the
So I'll
+10.
still do the
effect.
+10.
Yes.
Okay.
You will need to click the active button for the spider to make it activate.
It says it can't be changed when it's not my turn.
I guess Micah's gonna have to do it.
Yeah, I clicked on it. I don't know why it wouldn't let you. I
It
guess
says
because
it
it
wouldn't let me
tries
when
to
it's
be
not my turn.
You know, that's fair. You did just say that. My bad. Here, let me just make it your turn. Even though technically there's not even an initiative going right now. Or there shouldn't be. Here, let me clear initiatives. Maybe it'll stop being mad if you do that. If I do that. Bonk. They were all initiatives. No. I'm gonna unactivate it so you can activate it and see if it works. Just because I want it to work now. Should not be an initiative to be. If it still doesn't let you, I'll just make the initiative yours. Give it a shot.
Still says it can't be changed when it's not my turn.
Yeah, well, now it's your turn. Now try.
Okay. Now I'm
There we go.
spider.
Now you're Spider Thicket. Goodness
Spider
me.
Thicket. Spider Thicket.
You do still get... Okay, so you do get your proficiency bonus with
I
its stealth. So you have
I
a
get
stealth
to-
of +5, which fortunately is the same
I
as your regular
normally
one.
have stealth +5.
Yes.
But anyways,
Regardless.
+10. Stealth roll.
It's 25. Yeah, you're good.
Ah.
I guess I should roll... for the person that will end up walking up, I guess I should roll a perception check from them. See if they're even remotely aware. What did Doug get? 15? Okay. Did you lucky reroll? Is that what that was? Doug?
No.
Or were you trying to mark off a hero point?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you did mark off the wrong thing, but that's okay. Garand and John are not great, but they do have a lower PC.
We're in an alley, like, a ways away.
True. All right. Around midnight, the moon is not quite directly above you. The this song is too upbeat. Let's chill it down. This is also too taverny. do this. There we go. As the quiet night continues on, it will... Let me see. I need to check for something, actually. That we would find out that y'all would actually know ahead of time if this... I don't know if this will change anything, but let's find out. It begins to rain slightly. Around 11:30-ish. Is there anything y'all want to do when it begins to rain?
Garon starts praying that Thicket isn't tempted to just randomly start using Call Lightning.
Just sudden lightning striking down against the fountain. Let's see if there's any special effects for rain. It might even give y'all a bonus. Not heavy rain, it's regular rain.
How would rain give us a bonus?
Bonus
Isn't
to
that-
stealth to
isn't-
hide.
Oh,
Yeah.
bonus to stealth.
Light
I was gonna
cover,
say,
effectively.
Rain's pretty much bad in every way in combat.
It's true. It gives a negative to fire in this case. Thankfully, y'all aren't trying to rest out here, so you won't have to make con saves to get a long rest.
Oh, it doesn't trigger the vaporize reaction.
It does not trigger your vaporize reaction with fire, no. This is not Genshin Impact, even if the weapon that y'all are working on getting fixed is inspired by Genshin Impact.
What?
He's trying to avoid things.
Yeah, I'm trying to say Genshin Impact.
So
Genshin.
confused.
It's Genshin Impact.
Don't worry about it.
I'll put it in
I'll stream
Discord chat.
It's fine.
There you go.
We would not get caught on anything anyway. We haven't done anything even remotely illegal. Genshin
All right.
Impact. It was a Genshin Impact reference. The vaporize reaction comment. It's a thing from the way elements work in Genshin.
Oh.
If you don't know what Genshin Impact is, it is a mobile game / PC game that a lot of people like. Mori is one of them. Anyway,
Hey.
As the light rain begins over a few minutes, it would be around 12. That y'all wouldn't necessarily know exactly because y'all can't see a timer. There's no easy clock. A little bit of the half moon is peeking through the clouds here and there. Not enough that you can really see, but the lights sparkle. Song got more intense, didn't it? Why did you have to do that?
Is that a Twilight Sparkle?
No sparkling vampires or anything else.
Boy.
No. I meant from My
yeah,
Little Pony.
the
Sorry,
pony
man.
thing.
I got daughters.
Anyway, that's fair. Regardless, while you're sitting in the center of this park, getting a bit wet over the few minutes that you're waiting, as I don't believe any of you have umbrellas, you would hear the click of heels upon the stone, seeing a figure walking from the western side, potentially a little bit behind you from where you are, walking down the flagstones. Stepping toward you, you are able to see a blue dress, a bit of the bottom of it actually slightly dampened, a fairly simple dress, with matching shoes, and a large blue umbrella. A lightly held dark cloak just hung around this figure's shoulders, pulling down behind them, of this dark green color. It doesn't fit quite, but you think they may have done it to help protect them against the rain, for the umbrella or otherwise. Underneath the fairly nice umbrella, you would see a face you have seen before. as Gambit, you would, though she's in a blue dress now, you would see Lady Grace Lavania stepping up to you in the rain. Hello.
Lady Grace Savania?
Yep, who, as far as you're aware, is the
I'm-
owner of the inn y'all have had Garan performing at.
Oh.
I didn't ever get your name.
Oh, I'm Gambit.
Nice to properly meet you, Gambit. You seem a bit wet. Would you like to take a
Nice
walk?
to meet you too.
There's some room under the umbrella.
You want to take a walk in this weather? I guess if you're brave enough.
Well, we could head back to the inn. I'm sorry the weather happened to be like this, but I wasn't going to miss the meeting. Would you like to join me under the umbrella and we can
Yeah.
head back to a drier locale? There should be a fire. Gerald, this is way more intense than it should be. Gerald should have a fire going. Dry you off?
Okay.
And the others will be able to see as Lavania stands and lets you join her under the umbrella as y'all begin a slow walk back toward the inn. I'm sorry for my distance. I'm not as good at
That's all right.
being direct.
I see. So, what do you do in your free time other than run a hotel?
Well, guess I don't have that much. Poetry here and there. As y'all are getting further down the street.
Are we all walking with her? Or just Gambit?
That's a good question. Are y'all walking with her?
So I feel like we would have, at least I would have stayed hidden just because I still don't know who this person is because we're a ways away and I can't see him that well.
Okay, so is the alley group following?
Did we get any indication that Gambit seemed willing to go with this person?
We did not make a all good signal. We only made a this is bad signal.
Right.
So
there's no
it went
this
to
is...
crap signal. We didn't make a.
Right, but that's the thing. So if he's willingly walking with her, I'm going to trust his ability to make decisions. So I will just, if we know which direction they went and we think it's similar to the inn, then I would probably just go back to the inn and wait and trust between Thicket and Gambit, trust that they're going to be fine.
Yeah. I think Rhonda's right there. I'll go with Rhonda. If you're going back to the inn.
Doug?
Doug is going to stay put until they get out of sight. And then he'll just follow.
Alright, so Doug is following from a distance. Well, I write poetry. I was able to read quite a few books that my parents left me. Gerald was insistent that I learn to write well, and I took to it. I also like to hear stories. It's a benefit of the inn is I get to listen to lots of people. What's your story? You seem like there's more to you.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot to my story, and a lot of it is actually sensitive information that I'd rather not spread around. In response to that, though, I will stop asking personal questions about yourself. so that we can maintain a sense of fairness.
Are you a spy? The queen?
No, not a spy.
A criminal, then. You gave me the
It
feeling of
depends on who
something
you
like
ask.
that. Oh?
It depends on who you ask.
And if I were to ask you?
I did nothing wrong. I am a victim of the system of corruption.
And if I were to ask the servants of the Queen of Vacuo?
They'd probably say something else. But their interest would be conflicted with money and power.
Yeah, that's...
All I seek is freedom.
What do you want freedom from?
Other people telling me what I need to do, what I need to be.
What do you want to be?
Well, I guess that's a little bit of a paradox. Because if I really want to be free, then that must mean that there should always be a system of oppression that I have to be trying to free myself from.
So you
I
want to
guess just a
stop...
wanderer.
You want to stop wanting to be free?
I think I haven't really figured it out right now. Except for right now, I think currently, I want to be a friend and a good party member. A good adventurer.
Are you the type of adventurer that just looks for money?
Ah,
Freedom, doing what you want wherever you go?
I
Unbeholden to any
mean,
laws?
I'm not gonna say no to money. If I'm gonna be honest, my pocket is pretty empty. And adventuring costs a lot of money, like getting potions, making sure you have good magical weapons, or weapons for all sorts of situations and stuff like that, and places to stay. Um, but I'm not like looking to get rich or anything. Um, but I think mostly right now, I just want to be dependable for my friends. I haven't really been that great when we've gotten into sticky situations, and I've really had to I feel like I've been holding them back a little bit. Um, they have to protect me a little bit, which is not what I want. So I'm always looking for ways to get stronger.
Is that why you came to my town? To get
Well,
stronger?
no, actually, I came to your town with my friends because we needed to go there. The library is a wealth of information, and we needed to talk to the Lord Librarian. So we've learned some things about my friend that is pretty scary, and I want to learn more so that I can stop bad things from happening to them.
Make a persuasion check.
Hmm.
Can I sort of like vibe check her and see if I don't know? I just want to see if she's like got bad intentions or I don't know how to word it.
Go ahead and make an insight
Make a
check.
persuasion.
You make a persuasion check. They can make an insight check.
Oh.
I thought that was supposed to be a persuasion.
That was thickets. I need the persuasion from Gambit.
Hold on, I guess it timed out on the fantasy grounds.
It does seem so, yeah, but it's reconnecting you.
Mm-hmm. And my computer's also on 7%.
Oh goodness!
And my headphones are dying.
Wow.
Plug that in.
Are there plugs?
There's a slow plug. All of my devices use the same USB-C,
Mm.
which is convenient and inconvenient. Okay, there goes my headphone.
Here comes my persuasion check.
I think it may have disconnected your headphones or something.
I think her headphones died. I'm gonna turn her up.
No. No.
Make the roll. I don't see anything.
Jocelyn,
Roll that
can you
beautiful
hear
pink
us?
footage.
Jocelyn?
I can hear.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, it's just you suddenly went a little quiet.
But
Okay.
I've got you turned
Cool.
back up.
26.
Okay. So. Thicket. You notice a little bit of her questioning is a little odd. Part of the probing seems like she's trying to get information about Gambit. Seemed to ask and lead in a weird way. The way she said my town seemed protective and defensive. You get the feeling she's more interested in Jess than just like having a crush. Don't get that feeling from her. Despite the persuasion of the... I mean, that's what the letter seemed to suggest. Make a perception check for Thicket as well. That's enough. You would see, though she hasn't reached for it, the back side of her dress, there is a ribbon that ties around the waist. And you see, tucked into it, you hadn't really noticed before, it looks almost like just a... what's the word? An accessory.
A prison shank.
Not a prison shank, but you're darn close. You see the silver handle of a knife stuck in the ribbon.
Eek, a kniff.
Whether it's defensive or offensive, whether she felt threatened or not, you can't exactly tell. But she seemed to be prepared for this to go bad. But she hasn't reached for it. Not once. You eventually arrive at the inn as you're talking. Let's go inside. You sit down by the fire. What do you do when you're not wandering? What do you look for? I mean, you want freedom, but what do you want to do with it?
I look for pretty rocks. I haven't found any yet, though. Do you know any good places to find nice looking rocks?
Well, they're not always shiny, but she points out the window. The river makes some wonderful skipping stones.
Nice.
There's quite a few you can find on the shore there. As this continues for a few minutes, talking about hobbies, her mentioning that she also does some art, that Gerald had her read very fine books that she spent a lot of time when she was younger in the library. Gambit mentioning anything else that he would have been willing to share. Thicket, though it wasn't there was, you had noticed with the insight that some of her smiles and her attention had seemed like a mask, seemed faked. But you noticed over the course of the conversation a few genuine smiles. As she actually seems to enjoy the time. As it closes in on 1 a.m. Well, I have to go. Does Gambit stand up or anything?
Yeah. He'll stand up. And if like he'll put her chair back and stuff like that. But then he'll say, you do a really good job at running this hotel. It's quite well kept.
I do what I can. I try very hard. She leans in
It
to give you a
shows.
hug.
Okay.
But as she leans in, kind of sets her head next to yours, she leans very close to your ear and whispers, "Good night, Alioth." Before stepping away
Uh-oh.
and walking out the door.
Oh no. Can he stop her, like, gently?
You grab her hand as she steps away. She turns and looks to you.
What are you gonna do with that information? Are you gonna tell anyone? Do I need to leave tonight?
Just a thoughtful look in
Who
her
else
eyes.
knows?
Just me. Will you help me with something? Don't worry. I trust you from what you've told me. You don't seem like the villain the wanted posters say you are.
I assure you, I am not.
Good.
Well,
I can't let you hurt this town.
don't
But-
worry. If I do, it'll be an accident.
That stills a lot of confidence.
I ask again. Will you help me with something?
Well, I mean, like, personally or, like, as a party? 'Cause I'd
Personally.
have to talk to the others about it.
I guess I prefer you didn't. I like to keep my business fairly private. If you have to, then that's your own decision. But the offer is more for you than for them.
Okay. Well, I guess it depends on what it is. If it, like, I'm not gonna, like, kill anybody or something. I might pickpocket if you convince me hard enough. But yeah.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Gambit. She pulls her hand away from yours and steps out the door, pulling her blue umbrella back up above her. Thicket, you would have heard that conversation, but you would not have heard her say his name. I don't know how long Gambit and John would have waited. Y'all said y'all were going to wait at the inn. Y'all could have watched, but not really been able to hear most of that encounter. Were y'all going to sit and watch, or once they sat down, do you think you would have headed on?
Does Garand recognize her?
Yeah.
Okay, then he would just go to bed.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, she's clearly flirting, and she doesn't know how to do it, and she's not good at it, or whatever, which is completely in line with Garand's wisdom. So he's like, "Hey, hopefully it works out for Gambit. Time to go to bed."
Understandable.
I mean, I I thought we were just going back to the inn because there wasn't any danger that we could see.
Fair. So John might have gone to bed immediately. And Thicket?
We know Gambit's real name from the wanted posters we've seen,
You
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Can
he
you
also
remind me
told
how
you
it's
under the
spelled?
true spell.
What was that?
Or not under the true spell, but like after that, he told you
Ah.
his name.
Yeah.
Right. I remember there was somehow that we all knew, or everyone except for John. Sorry.
Yeah, I saw it,
But can you remind me how it's spelled?
Yes. I will. Actually, Gambit, Dreisland, you tell them how it's spelled. It's in your notes.
Oh, funny story.
What'd
Let
you
me
do?
find it. Funny
Like,
story.
it's in your
I'm
character
pretty
sheet.
dyslexic.
That's true, you are. It's in your character sheet notes. It is Alioth for Alioth. And last name Tussock. Tussock.
Thank you.
Alioth Tussock. Or is it Tussock? I thought it was Tussock.
Tussock, I think.
Tussock?
Tussock. Like
Tussock?
the place in Britain.
Okay. Tussock. Would Thicket have stayed the whole time, still in spider form? Or would Thicket have tried to sneak off at some point?
Yeah, he would have stayed. He's not leaving
Okay.
Gambit.
It's true.
Gambit's probably gonna sit back down and like, process what just happened.
Upstairs, Escarant is getting ready for bed in the room with... You'd be waiting for Thicket, so just on his own. You would hear a knock on the door.
I mean, he open it, whatever. As long as he's not asleep, it's fine.
And you open it and see Maverick. I have a
Hey, buddy.
question.
Yeah, what's up?
While y'all were in the ritual thing, Sasha, the Lord, she offered for me to be a part of, like, her apprentices. I don't know. Do you think I should? Is that something you think I should do?
That's amazing. Well, first, if she was able to do that while she was also maintaining the entire ritual, she has great power, and she could certainly teach you things. If you want to go, that's another good reason. If you feel like you're up for it, I mean, I know it's very different from the way that you grew up, then I think that that's reason enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd miss you. You're a fun ally to have around. You're very good at taking damage when the rare thing actually hits you. So I will say that you certainly missed, but I mean,
if you ask me to stay with y'all, I will. I feel like I kind of owe it to y'all.
No, that's not the reason to stay with someone. You don't stay out of obligation. You stay out of desire. You came with us out of desire, and you've definitely proven yourself more than capable. And any goodness that we brought your way, you've more than paid back. So don't feel that way. No, my encouragement would then be, with that information, to absolutely take advantage of this opportunity. You don't owe us anything, Gambit. I'm sorry, you don't owe us anything, Maverick. You have been an absolute friend, an absolute joy to be around. You have a very interesting sense of humor. I was a little bit worried about some of your greed, so I would recommend don't take too many things. because that might cause trouble for you. So I guess my warning would be stay, but only if you can trust your hands to not wander idly.
He grins a little bit, the toothy, sharp teeth beneath. And he gets a confused look in his eyes. What do you do when you want two things at the same time? But you can't have them both?
Well, I mean, the reality is, whenever you say yes to something, you say no to every other thing. So once
That
you
seems
can
complex.
understand that, once you understand that, Maverick, you realize that there's not necessarily a wrong answer in a lot of situations. It's just what you do. Now, if it's causing harm to someone, then that may well be a very bad, wrong, incorrect answer, choice, decision. But you know, a lot of decisions are more neutral, and you need to be able to find yourself, stand on your own two wonderfully strong, scaly legs, and know that whenever you were with us again, that you would be that much more formidable, that much more of an ally, that much more of a strength and a boon. So no, you are a part of our group, but you know what? So is Cedar, and she hasn't been around for a little while, and even Marietta, who you may Moretta, excuse me, forgive me, I'm overcome with emotion at the moment, but you've been there, and they have been there, and they are still in our hearts, and you will still remain in our hearts as well. And should you find that this doesn't work for you, come find us. You know what our plans are.
So I could come back?
Certainly. Well, I hope that you would one day. I hope that you've completed whatever training or apprenticeship or what have you, and that you would find us and let us know how everything has gone, and that you would send letters, and that, we would be in contact with you as well. This group has undergone changes here and there, but that doesn't change the value that you have. So please, I would greatly encourage you, take this opportunity, learn from it, gain from it, and when the time is right, come back, and who knows, you might be right alongside us when the time comes to use these keys to restore the great glory that was once here, and perhaps help us in our war against the despicable creatures. The darkness, if you will, fight the darkness. So I think you can always come back to us, right? But take this opportunity now while it's here. I don't know that she would offer to you again. So why risk that when you already know that you are loved and cared for with your group, with your friends, with the people who have walked side by side with you for weeks and months?
He slowly nods, seemingly processing all of these different ideas. Different thoughts that are pretty foreign to him. You seem to understand, from the pack he'd been a part of before to the pack he's part of now, to whatever this apprenticeship means. Thanks, Grant.
I will miss you not taking the hits for us.
I think I'll miss protecting y'all too.
Are you going to keep Claude?
Yeah, I figured, I thought I might be able to teach these kids some things, so I figured I might stay with Mavic for a bit, but, once he gets me a body up and running, I thought I might come join you all. Yeah, I was hoping that she'd be able to help me get him a body sooner rather than later, because, well, I've been coming up with some different ideas. I need some help to make sure they all work out. So, if y'all wanted to go with you, I think he would, but I figured I'd keep him for a little bit and then send him to you whenever he's ready.
No, that's brilliant. And then it's just another way for you to be with us as well.
Yeah, maybe I'll try and pack a sending stone into him to send to y'all.
That's brilliant. See, look at it this way, right? He stays with you, you have a piece of us. You send him back to us, and then we have a piece of you. So I think it's a brilliant idea.
He nods with a smile.
Claude,
Okay.
make sure you do a good job. Look after our boy Maverick there, please.
Of course. He's got the smartest one in the group with him.
Indeed, he does.
He nods and exits, seemingly still full of thought. As he walks out, and the evening winds down. Gambit would sit down for a few minutes down near the fire still. Eventually, Thicket's spiderhood would end. Is there anything?
Cat.
Spider cat. Is there anything Thicket wants to do as a spider or after a spider before going to bed?
Both before and after he returns to cat form, he would just be comforting Gambit.
Gambit sitting seemingly pretty deep in thought, but I don't want to describe how Gambit's feeling. What sort of image is Gambit giving off?
Befuddlement. Like, okay, he
That's a good word.
suspects that there was never a crush to begin with, that she, like, okay, never mind, no. He confirmed, in his mind, this was never about the secret admirer. It's about monitoring him and getting information on him. Which he figured this is where this was going. So, I guess he's just kind of in a little bit of decision paralysis. Because he doesn't want to escalate the situation further, because well, I guess he should. It seemed like she was telling the truth when she said that she was not telling anybody.
You're asking if it seemed like she was telling the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Make an insight check.
Can I make one as well?
So rolling off your... Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check, Thicket, if you want to make another one. I trust you to roll high anyway, so you don't necessarily need to work off the previous one.
Can you...
Real?
I need to not be spider.
I will unspider you then. You've been unspidered.
Gambit has rolled it.
I think I may have respidered you.
Oof.
I think I did.
Oh wait, that was acrobatics.
I did also respider you. Let me unspider you again. There you go.
Okay. There we go.
Both of you would come to the conclusion that, oddly, she seemed to be quite genuine with everything she said once y'all got back to the inn.
What about before?
Well, before then, you had already gotten the idea that she was like leading the questions, trying to get information about Gambit. That would seem to fit with whatever Gambit's thinking about. But she seemed a lot more genuine once you got back to the inn. Once she seemed to get some kind of whatever confirmation she needed, maybe, because she did seem honest when she asked for help, and honest that she wasn't going to tell anyone, that she believed him.
Gambit, do you know her at all?
No, I didn't. I guess she just must have recognized me. But it doesn't seem like she's gonna report me. So that's nice.
At some point, Gerald, who has been at the bar, walks over and sets a cup of hot chocolate beside Gambit and sets a cup of warm milk beside Thicket before he returns to the bar, not saying a word.
Oh, I want to try hot chocolate.
If he's, I
Here,
mean,
we can switch. It's okay, we can switch. Here, have your hot chocolate. Have this hot chocolate. I want some
Well, have you
warm
tried
milk,
hot
too.
chocolate before?
I think so.
I don't want to take it from you, but I would like to try it.
No,
So-
I'm giving it.
But now I feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
I don't want to take your hot chocolate.
I want this warm milk. Damn it, switches takes a sip of the warm milk and is trying to hide his disgust.
Thicket will take one sip of the hot chocolate and give it back to Gambit. Not because he doesn't like it, just because he doesn't want to take it.
But dude, I already drank like your milk.
That's okay.
Oh, here, we can do this. We can like split it.
You've had a rough night. You can have the hot chocolate.
Okay. You're really stubborn sometimes.
I get that a lot.
Oh. I think
Somebody
it's one
give
of
them
your
some
more
chocolate syrup
endearing
already.
qualities.
They can both have hot chocolate.
Where does hot chocolate come from?
Hot chocolate cows?
That makes sense.
Kind of like how strawberry milk comes from strawberry cows?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the idea that Gambit actually genuinely believes that. Alright. I suppose eventually you would head to rest for the night as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything I would like
Yep.
to do over the long rest?
Sleep.
Good choice.
I mean, that was probably implied, but
Yeah. All right. Over the night, let's see. There are no dreams, not immediately at least. Who knows? Maybe next time I'll change my mind and we'll start with a dream sequence. But Gambit, at one point you feel like you're tossing and turning, have a hard time staying asleep, which the stress and some odd concern keeps you awake for a little bit, but you do eventually fall to sleep. For a moment you hear talking, but then it goes away. Around 8:30, we'll say 8:30 a.m. On Monday, the 22nd of May in the year 417 post-schism, you eventually awake, Gambit. You look around the room and realize it's quiet. You don't see Maverick or his stuff. Sitting on his bed is a brass lamp that you've not seen before.
Interesting.
I'm going to move into your inventory.
Coolio.
Assuming
we
you
talking
take it,
like-
of course.
are we talking like a genie lamp or a?
It looks
light
like a
lamp?
genie lamp.
Oh, cool.
Like straight out of Aladdin looking genie lamp. And I think on that note, we'll end the session for the night. Maverick beginning a new apprenticeship. Gambit seemingly having been found out by someone. Not even seemingly, having been found out by someone. And being offered a job, question mark? Or being asked for help, at least. Being asked for help. And Maverick moving on. Did I ever say that? Maverick moving on to a different place. To an apprenticeship. Yeah.
I'm really disappointed there wasn't a fight. I called it though, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, technically there could have been, but she saw a couple of you. And she was like, I'm not fighting all these people. She could have been more aggressive out the gate.
I had a really good vicious mockery queued up too.
Your love letter sucks. You're a bad writer.
You can't tell time.
Can't tell time. You don't know how 12 a.m. how midnight works. That's great. Save that one. That'll come up eventually, I'm sure. Welcome to a little bit more of Gambit lore. I mean, technically this isn't strictly Gambit lore, but it's stuff that connects to Gambit.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's
I mean-
Gambit plot. That's good enough.
Yeah, Gambit plot, not
Yeah.
Gambit lore.
Gambit plot. His lore kind of we already knew, but
Yeah. Lore came out pretty fast. We know that he likes shiny rocks.
Wait, so is Gambit on wanted posters because of the uprising that we helped, or
Nope.
that
No.
the party helped? This is
Nope.
predating that.
It's predating that.
Gambit's just a criminal. Got it.
Gambit is a convicted
Gambit-
murderer.
Oh, convicted?
Mm-hmm.
Like you escaped?
Mm-hmm.
like okay, depending on who you talk to is who says what murderer. Gambit,
I
no
didn't
murderer.
say he was. I didn't say he was guilty. I said he was convicted. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
He's convicted.
a subtle.
There
but
is a
big
difference. That's what I'm
difference there.
saying. There is indeed a big difference.
I see. Fun.
We're gonna get a full rest. You gonna or
Oh, yeah,
are you gonna
let
start
me-
with like dream sequences or something?
Let me long rest. I don't.
Okay.
Even if there's dream sequences, nothing is going to happen across the events of the night. Like nothing would stop you from getting your rest. So, bada boosh.
Gotcha.
I'll also go ahead and throw out some XP for the session. Because John, I do give out session XP, even if we don't have fights and stuff, because the plot moved along. Y'all got a lot of information about people. Yeah. Oh, session. Where is it? I think I just made. There you go. Ah. Session 52 XP. $5,200 XP, no CR, and award. A donk. Enjoy the extra 1,040 each of you.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to fix. Gambit's XP. Oh no, y'all's are all set up to be 3,400. Nice. Thicket and Garand. I don't know why y'all have 400 or 300 and 400 more XP than Doug, but the three of y'all have now crossed into. Actually, three of y'all and Gambit are like 9,000 away from getting the next thing. So, if y'all keep doing sessions without combats and always get the same or near the same XP, give it 8 sessions, and you'll have another level. Talk for 8 sessions, you know?
Nice.
I think Doug had to miss something. I think Jack missed something one night.
It's possible. Though I usually give XP to everyone, so it's possible I gave bonus XP for something, because I know I occasionally do that for funny jokes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that
do
might have been.
remember. I do remember you gave bonus XP.
I don't remember what I
for-
gave Thicket bonus XP.
I think it was for friendship or something.
Oh, that was right. I gave it to Thicket when Thicket... Yeah, I think it was like friendship XP when Thicket
Was
went
it-
to Garand.
I don't remember exactly.
Or it was
what
King of the
friendship
Bath.
it
I don't
was.
remember. I don't think it was King of the Bath.
It wasn't snake friendship, was it?
I don't think it was Snake Friendship. I think y'all just got regular Snake XP when you made friends with the snakes. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll see y'all next week, YouTube. I hope you have a wonderful night, wonderful time, wherever you are. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye, YouTube.
Bye.